Here's how I kind of imagine Seven Deadly Sins plays out in the heads of every character. Hello, how you guys doing? Let's just I don't know, grab a beer, grab a pint, you know what's up? Let's just grab a drink, you know what's up? Hey, let's just party and let's just have fun, guys. Versus the very different, I will kill you all and all your families and everything you hold dear. Everything is torture, everything is pain. Elizabeth. Hi guys, how's it going? This is me, Jackson. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Shake your hand. Hope you guys are still around. I know things haven't been exactly day by day like I said they were going to be, but hey, what we do is what we do here. And if you can't handle that, please stay. I actually need your attention. I need your validation. And I just need to be accepted in the community of YouTube and new YouTube and under 10 subscriber YouTube. And I just need it to work out. So please help me. But anyway, today we're talking about 7 deadly sins. Now I know all you Christians out there, you're pretty scared, but let me tell you something. It's not the ones that you're quite thinking of. I mean, technically it kind of is the same thing, but it's not exactly that. So we're actually talking about the Netflix series 7 Deadly Sins. It's my first ever anime take. I guess we did Pokemon Journeys, but this is really like a step further into the anime pool. And so that's why I kind of picked this one up. It really is just kind of coincidence why I picked this one up. In all honesty, it's a show that me and Lucas from the Whirlpool and subsequently the Fire Red series, we had watched a long time ago, and the new season came out a couple days ago, so we just caught up with it and just, watched the whole season in a day, which I wasn't exactly a fan of. I'm not a fan of sitting for that long and watching it. It was still fun to watch, with a friend, nonetheless. But anyway, let's just go ahead and talk about the 7 Deadly Sins. So the group itself deals with, as it would be called, the 7 Deadly Sins, which are these group of, I guess, warriors or just these protectors who just kind of came together over the years and became this little unit that we notice at the beginning of the show where they have to come back together. You have giants, magic users, Meliodas, who is a demon. He's a demon. That's important to know. But then you have humans, demons, angels. You have it all in here because this is a magical universe. I mean, it's an anime. What do you expect? Now, this season in particular, I don't want to recap the whole thing because that would take too long. And suffice it to say, I don't remember everything. But this season, I remember mostly because I watched it all. Now, we start with the introduction of all of our characters and their fight against the demon clan, because what happens is that they're in another war that forces them to come back together. Now, they had come together to fight in many battles before, but now they're coming together to fight for a different reason. Moreover, Meliodas, who's the team captain and is also the strongest member of the seven Deadly Sins, sort of, kind of, basically is leading these guys on another charge to try and save Leonis, the kingdom of Leonis, and more importantly, Elizabeth, who we have come to know is basically Meliodas's love person. I don't know why I wanted to say that. His girlfriend, but we don't exactly know the whole story. So in truth, we learn that Meliodas and Elizabeth have actually lived for thousands and thousands of years, and because he is a demon and he is the son of the demon king, Meliodas falling in love with the original Elizabeth, which was an angel, wasn't exactly a great thing, because God and Satan don't really mix well, at least this universe's forms of God and Satan. So when it came to their punishment, obviously they're, these two divine beings have their kids dating each other, there's got to be punishment. They were kind of locked into this situation where Elizabeth would die every time they got back together, every time she remembered who she was in a previous life, and Meliodas could basically not die either, so they were basically caught in this struggle to try and find each other, but always die. Now, it's important to note that Meliodas has suffered through each one of these deaths, obviously, has taken care of young Elizabeths, has seen old Elizabeth die over, 3 millennia. So it's important to know that how Meliodas has this childlike demeanor, but realistically, he's the oldest member, he has the most emotions, he just kind of hides it all away under his young persona, which actually I like as a character trait for this character. He can very quickly switch to this lovable character that fans can enjoy while also becoming the most important character of the whole series. So I like that. Moreover, he couldn't do it alone. You know who he's got? He's got a team with him. He's got one for each of the sins, envy, wrath, I almost said judgment. That is not one of them. Gluttony. But he does have a team. We got Bon, who is a human who also cannot die. There's a lot of not dying going on in this series, if you haven't caught on. We got Bon, jacked human. Then we have King, who is king of the fairies, eventually. And he's got this magical staff that can do all of these sorts of tricks. We got Diane, the giantess, who can attack with her giant powers, scythe in hand and everything. And so, basically, the Seven Deadly Sins, at least why I liked it when I first watched it a couple years ago as a younger kid, was that you had all of these super beings just kind of in one go, and you get to see all of their powers combined. And in this season, they did end up not having as many action scenes. Now, Lucas was telling me this is because of the budget or something to that effect, and whatever they changed. I haven't really looked into it, but I mean, if that's the case, that's cool. I still think they told an interesting story for the amount of money and time that they had, and it ended up being, I think, 24 episodes. Yeah, 24 episodes. I just looked at it. So that is still impressive. I guess anime in general, I don't really know the lengths of most. I mean, heck, I'm on the Netflix page right now. Let's just open Legend of Korra, even though it didn't really have that long of a run. The first season had 12 episodes, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the actual length of a regular season of anime is, but this one was 24, so I think that's pretty cool and pretty good. And it matches the what it needs to tell. Sometimes, though, the story did tend to drag, at least in my opinion. The story tended to have these weird paces where you have so much action with all of these superpowered characters, and then you have all this drama that they want to hash on, like feelings and emotional connections between the main cast of Seven Deadly Sins and the ideas of just what it means for Elizabeth and Meliodas, stuff like that, where it's just kind of okay, we've spent 4 episodes talking about the same thing. I don't know how long we can do it, but also that may just be the pacing of typical anime in general. If that is the case, cool. What I do like about this season, for anybody who actually has watched the previous ones, is that Elizabeth did get more of a chance to shine in this one. You got to see more of her powers, her abilities to heal, her goddess nature, and she actually blends herself well to the Seven Deadly Sins and to Meliodas' side, which, you learned in the past that it was because they had already worked together and been together for so many years. I just like that change. And obviously you get characters like Hawk, who just kind of are there as a good comic relief, but also good characters. I think this show does one of my favorite things in storytelling, which is think about character relations almost as a priority for this show. I like it when it's the priority, but in this show I feel like they kind of have it as a priority and then have the rest of the story fall in second. I think it's always important you make sure your characters are as tight as they can be, and you really feel connected, especially with a family show. Like, I just also finished Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which I may do a review on, and that show too really relies on that familiar connection between you and them and themselves. So I like that. I like that idea. Now, as for the rest of the show, in terms of what I thought the other characters were good, and I thought the idea behind Meliodas turning evil, which does happen, evil in a sense, his idea is that if he becomes the demon king, he can separate himself from Elizabeth, and then her curse and his curse would be broken, which may cause him to die, but at least Elizabeth could potentially live on. And I do think that it will make for an exciting series finale. There's one more left, and yeah, I think it will just make for an interesting little twist and conversation about their love for each other as it has developed over these seasons. So, final notes here. I think the show does a great job of its characters and its storytelling for what it wants to show you and what it wants you to kind of think about. But for me, at least for me, the writing of the show in general feels a little bit too dramatic for what it is. Almost it takes itself too seriously for the show that it is. It probably does this better in the manga, just as a writing choice. I think that is kind of the way anime speaks as a medium in general. It's always a little bit more dramatic. I kind of did some Google researching, and it may have something to do with the fact that, physical actors in a scene tend to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting with showing a lot of emotion. So in anime, they kind of make it more apparent for the viewer. And, you know, I don't know if that's necessarily what it is, or maybe I just don't like this particular show's writing in terms of dialogue and things like that. Its story's great, but for me, if there wasn't only one more season left, then I may not continue this show. I might have not continued this show, but there is only one left. I mean, I might as well finish it. I've come 4 seasons in, 3.5 if you count like the little 4-episode thing they did. But overall, that's what I gotta say about Seven Deadly Sins, is it's good, and then if you can kind of see past some little weird moments in the writing, and an occasional upskirt shot, because it's, you know, anime, you'll definitely enjoy Seven Deadly Sins. So I recommend it. I hope that if you see this, you'll enjoy it. And yeah, that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I've been me, you've been you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.